Okay, this is dried for a couple of days. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go put some more light in front of these trees, these foreground trees that we put in. That way we got back and forth lighting coming off of that moon. So it looks like some of the light's behind a few trees and some of it's in front of the few trees. So we're going to take our board again. I'm going to take a number 4 dagger brush. And what I did was I mixed a little bit of cerulean blue this time with some white. I don't want this bright white this time. I'm going to try a little bit of like a blue color and see what that looks like. And I'm going to put in 2 edges like we did last time. Outline the 2 edges of the whatever ray, wherever you put your ray at. And I'm thinning this down again. This is a wash, so I'm thinning this down with mineral spirits. Not with linseed oil, but mineral spirits, because I want it to be really transparent. Might actually add a little bit more white to that. I'm just going to go into straight white, start adding that in there. Okay. Back in with the mop brush. I want to soften, I don't want these edges too hard, so I kind of want to soften them out a little bit. Make sure you're taking all your strokes the direction out away from the center of the moon. I'll step back and see how that looks. That's actually looking pretty good. Now on this next light ray, I might want to make it brighter, so I'm gonna dip into straight white this time, thin it down with my mineral spirits. Now let's try taking another one out this direction. Remember, you're going from the center of the moon, just like the center of a bicycle tire with spokes coming out of it. It's all got to come from the center point. Paint starts to get a little bit too thick, just thin it down with your mineral spirits. Basically, I'm just laying the paint on there with this dagger brush, and then it's kind of choppy, but that's okay. You smooth it out with the mop brush. That's what smooths it out, and that's what gives you the direction of your light. So back to the mop brush. See the cool effect we're getting with that. That looks really good. Alright, now I want some of this coming down, definitely want it coming down over these back two wolves. I kind of want to make them disappear a little bit into the forest and into the moonlight. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to make this one a little bit more blue. Let's see. There we go. That sets them back a little bit. I like that. Now, let's see. I'm trying to figure out if I want to add any more to it. I'm thinking I kind of want to bring one down through here also. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go back to add a little bit more white to brighten this one up. Actually, I think I want to just cover up that front wolf also, and we'll add highlight and some more color and just bring it back out after we kind of hide it with this moonlight. Now you can see how thin that wash is. It's actually running when I put it on the canvas. It starts to get a little bit too thin, then I dip into a little bit of straight paint without any mineral spirits and just put it back on there, just to kind of thicken it up a little bit so it doesn't run too much. Either way, it's going to be a thin mixture and it's going to be transparent once you go over it with a mop brush. And anything you want to brighten back up, you can just come back in and brighten back up. Don't be afraid of doing this stuff. I know it's kind of scary if you're a beginner to put paint over the top of something that you already painted, like maybe a wolf, if you had it looking good, but I guarantee you this type of stuff will actually make it look even better, bring it alive. There we go. Now we're starting to set stuff back into the painting. Looks pretty good. I think I even want to bring one more down through here. It starts looking really good and you get kind of carried away with it maybe, but I'm just going to put one more in. We can do what we want, we're artists. this one I'm going to do a little bit thicker. I'm not going to make the wash as thin as I did. Less mineral spirits in it. I'm making this one fairly bright. This is kind of a personal preference thing where you put the brighter ones, and where you put the more blue ones. I just noticed that I put 2 bluer ones and then over here and 2 brighter ones over here, so I figured I'd mix it up a little bit and add a bright one between the 2 blue ones. That, and I always like to do things in odd numbers rather than even numbers. I had 4 light rays, 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm adding a 5th one just to make it an odd number. For some reason in any kind of nature painting, an odd number just looks better than an even number. I didn't thin that one down as much, so it's actually stronger, brighter. So this one I want to rub a little bit more with my mop brush, just to kind of so it's not so strong. Let's stand back and look at that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay. Now I want to sharpen, not too much, but I want to sharpen my moon up a little bit. So I'm going to take some of that color we were just using, a little bit on the brighter side, more white in it, and I'm just going to go in here. You should have kind of the edge defined, because when we started out we spray painted that moon in. So you should have a decent edge that you can go by on the moon. And I'm just going to kind of go in here and fill that moon back in a little bit with some thin paint. Just going to spread the edges spread the edges out a little bit. Yeah, I like that. We can still see trees going in front of the moon. That's what that transparent wash does for you, but it looks like the light is showing through the trees. Okay, let me get set up here, and I'm going to pull a chair over, and I'm going to start doing a little bit more work on that front wolf. Alright, now we're set up here. I can start putting some of this in. What I'm going to try to do is a wash. These wolves are going to be backlit, so I want to do a wash where there's shadow on the front side of the wolf. So just like with the moonlight, we can put a dark wash on the wolves. So I'm going to mix phthalo blue and burnt umber together. and I'm going to go into some of that wash we already used for the Moonlight, and it's already thinned down with the mineral spirits, so I'm going to try that out. So it's that cerulean blue and white wash mixed with burnt umber and phthalo blue. So certain parts of the wolf I can go in here and darken up. Now its snout is going to be brighter because it would catch some of the light over the top of its head, in my mind. So we can kind of darken that up. And there's, you can kind of see, since you painted the wolf, you can kind of see where the muscles and everything come together. You can almost make up your own mind which part of the muscles would catch the light. You know, the top edge of the wolf is going to catch the light, and some of the light's going to come down and catch like the nose, because the nose sticks out. It's going to catch the shoulder of the wolf, certain parts of it, so you know, so you can have kind of a definition of the shape of the wolf. And even these lighter areas of fur, you know, it's going to be a little bit dark on this side of it. So that's what we use a wash for. And you can see I'm darkening him, making him pretty dark. Because I think I had these wolves a little bit too defined anyway. I kind of want more of a silhouetted effect. And I might even go back here and darken in these wolves back here. They just stand out a little bit too much in my mind also. Mixture's getting a little bit on the blue side, so I want to add some burnt umber in it. Make sure it's plenty thin. One good thing about these washes too is if you don't like them, they're real easy to wipe off. You almost just take a paper towel or a rag. I like using a rag better because paper towels leave little chunks of paper towel stuck to your canvas, so I don't like using those, but you can if you want. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, what I'm going to come through here and just kind of sharpen the light. I'm going to take a liner brush. This is a number 1 liner brush. I'm going to take some straight white. It's thinned down a little bit. It's kind of part of that wash, so it's got just a touch of cerulean blue in it, but not much. Now I just want to define light hitting on the edge like the edge of these ears. Not too much. Now those back wolves, I want to make it a little bit more blue, so I'm going to do that cerulean blue wash, maybe lighten it up just a hair. That's too bright. Put a little bit more blue in it. Alright, let's try that. These back wolves, I don't want them standing out as much as that front wolf. Now sometimes your wash that you're doing here, it can get a little bit too thin. So you might need to thicken it up a little bit just by adding more paint to it. There, that's going on a little bit better. I'm looking down at my reference photo every once in a while to make sure I'm keeping the structure of the wolf good. You know, I want to make sure the wolf looks right. Alright, and I want to make sure I don't have any hard lines, so I kind of want to blend that back in to the body of the wolf. Smooth that out just a little bit. Okay, I gotta step back and see if I like that. I kind of like the way that looks because that just kind of gives you a, like I said, a silhouette with a little bit of light hitting the edge of the wolf. Now I want to do the same thing to this back wolf here. Pay attention to where the light's coming from too. Like I said, the moon's way back behind, so it's going to backlight these wolves. Might have a little bit hitting its snout there. Not much. much. Way back in the distance. Alright, now I gotta step back and kind of look at that one. Might need to add a little bit of dark to it. Actually, I think that one looks pretty good, so I might just leave it alone. But let's work on this front one now. I think that one looks fairly decent. Maybe just a little dark. I just can't quit messing with it, can I? There we go. All right. All right, on to the front wolf. Got that light's coming straight down, so it's gonna basically come through there. Now this one's gonna have more definition than a little bit more detail and definition than them back two wolves, but not much more. Just enough just to make it look like it's a little bit closer. I want this painting to be very subdued, very mysterious, so it's not big on detail. A lot of people look at my paintings and think that they're very detailed, but they're really not. I'm more about the mood that I want to get across in a painting rather than the detail. I just want to make sure my painting makes you feel something when you look at it. You know, this is kind of dark and mysterious. It might make you... A lot of people get a cold feeling when they look at some of my paintings, especially when I use this kind of palette with a blue, blue palette or whatever. They get a cold feeling, but at the same time, you want it to be sort of peaceful. You don't want to make it uncomfortable for somebody to look at either. So a lot of times I'll add something to kind of warm it up a little bit. Sometimes not, but sometimes yes. There we go. Now we're starting to get the look I want. on this front one, I think I might want to put, we want to put a little bit of a yellowish color in there for its eyes. Let me see what I got here. I think I got some Naples yellow. Let me get that out of the... Yeah, if we're going to use some Naples yellow, and this is kind of hard to do because those wolves are way back in the distance. They're kind of small. So this may work and it may not. If it doesn't work, I'll figure out how to just darken them back up. Nevertheless, I'm going to try Naples yellow and just a touch of white to lighten it up a little bit. Going in here with this liner brush, and I just want to put a touch of yellow in there. In fact, I'm going to see if I got a smaller liner brush, because this is really small. You probably want to get the thinnest liner brush you got, and I'm going to try this guy here. This is a short-handled liner brush I have, a number 1, and I don't even know where I got this thing at. It might have just came in one of my, like a paint set that I had. I got so much stuff that I've bought over the years, I don't remember where half of it comes from. But the bristles are a lot shorter on it, so I can have a lot more control for this detail work here. So I just kind of want to touch in there. Just kind of give the hint of the eye. Yep, perfect. Yep, that's all I want. Now, let me step back and look at that. Yeah. I think that's looking pretty good. Alright. Now, this snow, I kind of want to make the snow look a little bit better. I want, coming through the middle, I want to put more highlight in the snow. So we'll try this. This is a number 5 dagger brush. Okay, now I'm dipping into the linseed oil. Got my white. Titanium white, straight white, and just in places down through the middle, I'm just going to brighten this up, like right here, maybe on hitting that tree branch. See, I'm just going through here and making it look like some light. Moonlight's almost just kind of sparkling on bumps and stuff on that snow. Get as close to the edge of your wolf as you can without painting over the top of it. Now you'll have a shadow at the bottom of that, so you kind of leave that. Maybe then I'll go up to the snow that's on that branch that's laying over like that and highlight that a little bit better. I want this, the brightest part in the middle, basically, because I want to move the eye towards the middle of the painting, is what I'm looking for. Flecks of it probably see between the legs of the wolf there, maybe a little bit over here. I don't want to get too far this way though. Now as I come forward, I want it to widen out, almost like the, you know, the rays widen out. I want this light to widen out too. Now remember, your branches are going to cast shadows, so don't cover up your shadows. And I'm not looking to cover up everything on the canvas. I'm just looking to hit it with this color and this color and leave it. I keep saying color wrong. Alright. Probably going to see the snow on that pretty good. That one's kind of up in the air, so you might see some of that coming underneath it. Then it's going to cast a shadow down there. Now, kind of want to smooth the edge of where I put this light. I kind of want to smooth it out into the painting a little bit. I don't want it to just, you know, have a stark place where it stops. You got this tree shadow coming down through here, so you don't want to put too much in front of that. In fact, I might bring some more shadow color in on that. In fact, we're going to go into some cerulean blue now. Linseed oil, cerulean blue. We're not doing a wash now. We're doing actual paint that you kind of want to see. You know, you don't want it to be so transparent. I want it to be a little bit more white than that, so I add a little bit of white to it. Now it's too white. I want more blue. There, about like that. I just want it to start getting dark, you know, gradually get darker as we come out to the edges. Right. Now for these shadow areas, I'm going to try just put some straight cerulean blue on there. I might even, let's just try straight cerulean and see what it looks like. That's a little bit too light, so I'm going to mix phthalo blue in with it. See what that looks like. That's actually kind of nice. Phthalo blue and cerulean blue. tree is casting a shadow, so you kind of want to put that shadow being casted down, you know, maybe even over that a little bit. It's kind of a little bit of a deeper, darker shadow look. I kind of like it. That's a nice looking shadow color, so I'm going to keep going with that. A nice rich looking shadow color. Want to make it a little bit darker. I put more phthalo blue in it over here, but just kind of rub some in over here, that shadow of that big tree there. Good time to step back and take a look at the picture, because you're up close like that, it's kind of hard to see what's going on with it sometimes. And for the most part, I like what's going on with it, but I see one area in here, I kind of don't like how stark that shadow is next to the blue there, so I want to go in and add some of the lighter snow color next to it. Kind of a harsh line. I don't want it to be quite so harsh, so I'll just add some of that in there. Of course, we want it to get even the highlight in the snow part. I want darker as we move out towards the edge there. So that's starting to look good. Now I'm trying to look at the overall design of the painting to see if I like everything that's going on in it. It looks pretty good. And I almost think that we need like an eye stopper at the edge of the painting. Like maybe over here, maybe we need some branches or something coming into the painting, pointing towards the wolves. I don't know why, it just looks like we need it. So what the heck, we're going to try to do it and see what happens. Everything you do, though, you got to think about leading the eye. So if I put a branch in here, I want it to lead back towards the center of the painting. The fallen down tree or tree branch, whatever. Now I'm doing this with phthalo blue and burnt umber, and in fact I think I'm going to get some Prussian blue to make this stronger, because we're way in the foreground now, so that's where you want your strongest colors. I can go really strong. This will be the strongest part of the painting, as long as I can find my Prussian blue. There it is. So Prussian blue, and I want to put some more burnt umber down here. Maybe even wipe that brush off a little bit. I'm using this number 5 dagger brush. Now when I put this on, I want it fairly thick here in the foreground, so I'm putting it on without linseed oil. I want it pretty thick. Kind of a big old broken branch, kind of gnarly. Left my iced tea sitting over there on a table. I don't like that. I like my iced tea close to me while I'm painting. Okay. Maybe we got another branch in here too that's kind of sticking up. Along with that one, I kind of want a group of branches that's kind of like a log pile almost. One's kind of broken over like that. Something like that. Okay. Let me wipe that off. Now I'm going to take straight white, because this straight white is going to mix in with that color that I already put on the canvas anyway. I'm going to add some snow over the top of that, and I'm laying this on real thick and leaving it. I'm not spreading it out that much. The more you spread it out, the more it's going to disappear and blend in with that undercolor. Some on that one there. No linseed oil, just very thick, straight white paint. That'd be a big snow pile that all this stuff comes out of. Snow on the edge of that branch. White's getting a little bit muddy there, so I'm going to add some cleaner new white. this hair up a little bit, so I'm just going to put some more on there. Real thick paint, not thinning it down at all. I'm just putting it on there, not spreading it out that much, just touching, kind of letting the canvas pull it off. It blends with some of that paint underneath, and stuff starts happening. You get variations in the paint, and that's good because it looks like little things happening in the snow, little shadows and divots in the snow and everything. That's what you want. Okay, you gotta wipe this brush off every once in a while when that starts getting too dark and the white isn't showing up very good. Here we go. Wipe it off again. Just like that, it looks good. Alright. Now let's step back and look at it. For some reason I like that better. I don't know why. That just looks better to me. Okay, I'm going to go back in. And I just want to add a few branches sticking out of some of that. Like so. I'm doing a phthalo blue and brown, like that one picked up some of that white, that's okay. Just put a branch kind of coming off there. This stuff I'm thinning out with the linseed oil. And every once in a while just putting a little branch like that. Down here. Need to darken it up a little bit. There we go. I think we're going to call that a finished painting. I really like how that looks. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Until next time, paint out.